Hello, it is me, Atari HMB, and yes, that title you see is no joke. That is indeed the Disney Princess Rapunzel herself. Yes, the Disney Princess Rapunzel herself has shown herself to be far more powerful than you could imagine. And yes, that is far more powerful than the Versus Battle Wiki gave her credit for.
Building. Look, he said building level. Building level.
Of course, to the Versus Battle Wiki's discretion, I'm pretty sure this information they know probably wasn't put out too much to the public. And before I do that, let me give credit to the individual who shared with me these screenshots. And that individual is Hero of the Wind. Hero of the Wind, being a close acquaintance of mine since 2016, where I no longer have contact with her anymore, has given me the liberty to display some of these feats and crazy abilities that the characters of the Tangled series are capable of in the lore, of course, outside of what you've seen on screen. So again, keep that in mind. With that, we're going to go over how strong Rapunzel truly is and all her capabilities and hacks that has been stated and confirmed by Chris Sonnenberg himself. And if you don't know who Chris Sonnenberg is, it's the Emmy award-winning producer, writer, director, and animator, as well as the creator of the Tangled series. This is very important because it's pretty much the equivalent of getting information confirmation from Toriyama. And you thought Koyama's confirmation was crazy. Well, this is the equivalent of Toriyama confirming to us Goku is multiversal or something crazy like that. So let me go ahead and go into the information and notes and details, as well as including other members, and yes, that includes screenwriters such as Amber Vasinich, who is also a screenwriter for the Tangled series. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, before I begin, I want to state that most of this is going to be her potential as far as the lore goes. This did not actually happen in the Tangled series, and there's actually specific reasons that they go into detail as to why they didn't let it happen. Bear in mind, I'm going to go through these relatively quickly, so keep that in mind. Now, this is directly from Chris Sonnenberg in a DM that Hero of the Wind got. It says, the god of the Disney universe is what the sun and moon are supposed to represent. The devil of the Disney universe is Chunabog, the link to the darkness, death when everything is finished. His power will be what ends it. And Belobog is linked to light and life, the creator of the infinite numbers of universes and dimensions throughout the Disney universe. And we're going to go into detail about this dimension being more than just the simple, well, another term for universe. Belobog is the beginning as well as the end, while Chunabog is simply the end. This is why we gave Rapunzel the sun and the moonstone power. She is the embodiment of Belobog. So to speak, she has the power, while Cassandra is her moon, Charnabog. The sun drop and the moon drop and the power of these deities of Slavic religion. Okay, so that's already just starting off with the very first basics. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then we go into the answer from Amber, which reads, before I go into that, let's read the question. It says, excuse me, but whenever you have time, I'd like to ask a question if possible. It's about Rapunzel and her abilities in the Rapunzel Tangled Adventure. Matthews and the House of Yesterday created 4 universes, and I was curious if Rapunzel and Cassandra could do the same since they have stronger magic than him. Our answer is yes. They're far superior than Matthews. If you notice, when Rapunzel defeats Matthews, she doesn't struggle against him. He only lasted as long as he did because Rapunzel was contemplating on staying within the worlds he created. Now, to answer your question, yes, they can create an infinite number of universes with the power they possess. When deciding how the story would play out, I wanted to make sure things weren't confusing and understandable. The sun and moonstones are the very power of Chernabog from Fantasia and his counterpart Belobog, respectively. So while Rapunzel could create and destroy an infinite number of realities, Cassandra, since she only has the power of the moonstone, could only destroy these realities, all with their own dimensions throughout them, much like Xantira's dimension being one of the many in their main universe. Keep in mind, they aren't exactly on the level of those beings, but they have a large portion of their power. And then our next point is, well, what about her time abilities in the comics and her healing in the novels? Does she not have them within the show, or are they a separate canon? Also, how much of time can Rapunzel control? Amber continues to answer, I can assure you she has these abilities within the series, and the novels and the comics are canon. As the story revisionist, I help support the storyboard, and I purposely try to leave these abilities out of the story for the sake of tension, at least for the time being. As you can see, guys, this is the main reason why they left most of her abilities out on purpose within the series, but canonically, as far as the lore goes, Rapunzel does have this. Again, a story where the protagonist can revive and heal others as well as start over whenever she wants will make things, well, much less interesting for the audience. Now, as for how much time she can control, the entire flow of time is within her control. She can slow it down, speed it up, stop it, start it, and even time travel as we've seen within the comic stories. We appreciate your investment in the series and hope you'll join us on the ride through Season 3. Keep in mind, when I got these answers from Hero of the Wind, this was like years ago, a long time ago. So again, you're seeing this now, of course, as of 2021 going into 2022, but this information has been available way back. So again, this is huge, but we're still not done yet. Rapunzel actually has some very impressive hacks. For example, Chris Sonnenberg goes into detail about how it can kill others or slowly. Cassandra was lucky that when she touched Rapunzel during the events of the Xantiris tree, Rapunzel was focused on giving the team enough time to escape and not kill the tree. If it were the other way around, Cassandra wouldn't be in the story right now. This power also works at a distance, as seen when she first used the power. The distance can cross the planet or even across multiple universes if Rapunzel wanted to hurt that many people. The Moonstone can wither and decay others, as said in the incantation. It can erase things into total nothingness, destroy all things within the universe or other universes and dimensions. It all depends on how the user chooses to use the power of the stone. It grants Rapunzel and Cassandra the ability to manipulate all forms of negative energy, physical and spiritual, and lastly, for the Moonstone, it can control other people's will, their thoughts and heart. Oh yeah. And no, you are not blind. That does indeed say the sun drop can heal, resurrect, and regenerate the user from all wounds physically and spiritually. The sun drop also grants longevity and mortality. Rapunzel aged the way she did because she chose, if she wanted to remain a child, the power of the sun drop would allow it. It slows down her aging as well, much like a character such as Wolverine. The sun drop can also protect Rapunzel, as seen in the earlier episodes. Her hair will climb up the castle and latch onto things rather than have Rapunzel to do so. It is living and will protect Rapunzel because it is part of her and they are needed to keep balance within the Disney universe. The shield it can create around Rapunzel and her hair are both offensive and defensive. It protects her from strikes but hits the opponent back 10 times as hard with sunbeams, as seen in Lost and Found. And if the opponent is far weaker than Rapunzel, it destroys them all the way down to their quirks. As the opposite of the Moonstone, in negative energy it feeds on, the sun drop will thrive on the positive energy, both physical and spiritual. Both the sun drop and moon drop are stronger during their respective times through night and day, although this change is hardly noticeable within the context of the story. So yeah. Truth is, that's still nothing more but the surface level. A lot of people will be asking, well, cool, dimensions, and she must be multiverse plus or something like that. I mean, that's extremely surprising for a character like Rapunzel, right? Right? No, not at all. This is nothing but fodder if you assume it is just multiverse plus. Let me give you some context that we later got further confirmation on.
I'm extremely sorry to bother you. When you say dimensions, do you mean dimensions like M theory or bosonic theory, or just curious? Please respond when you can or if you can.
And her response is, strange question, but string theory is what we were going for when we thought about how we'd make this work. To put it simple, we wanted to make sure there was infinite possibilities, in case we were ever to decide to keep the series going with other worlds and versions of the cast, different outcomes, different roles. For example, what if Cassandra was a sun drop and not Rapunzel? I hope this helped you understand how the world works a bit. So there you have it. Rapunzel. contains infinite dimensions built on string theory, meaning spatio-temporal, meaning infinitely higher than the previous on a universal complexity level. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
That literally means Rapunzel is a confirmed super haxy infinite hyperversal princess. Yes, Rapunzel is hyperversal. I've already explained to you how stupidly large that is, but in case you don't get it, this is a universe. This is an infinite number of universes sitting within a timeline, or you could say all the states of the universe on that time string. Then, this is an infinite number of timelines, all within a probability plane. This is the fifth dimension. If you take an infinite number of 5D worlds that all contain infinite 4D worlds into a singularity nexus, it's a 6D world. You keep repeating this process until you get to infinity, and then what? An infinite dimension that's infinitely bigger than an infinite dimension, and etc., to a perpetual infinity? Rapunzel scales to that. No joke. No joke. Legit. And that's what makes it extremely crazy that this character, who a lot of people would never expect to be at that level, this building level character, is at the level of a infinite hyperversal being near the borderline of outerversal. Respect Rapunzel. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yes, I know this may be a shock to people. There'll be people dealing with, cognitive dissonance, or trying to, say, oh, well, they don't understand what that means. He said infinite possibilities, or she said infinite possibilities. They're not talking about, infinite dimensions, even though I've just showed you right in front of your face how many dimensions they're talking about, and that they are referring to string theory. But regardless, the main point is this. Rapunzel is infinite hyperversal, no question about it. She solos 90% of your favorite verses and pretty much all of your shonen favorite verses. You're going to need Xenogoku to fight someone like her, and even then it's going to be extremely difficult because Hakai would not even work against her, and she'd probably return the attack tenfold. Now, I can't tell you why Rapunzel is this strong. I just like the idea that she is, considering she is one of my favorite Disney princesses. Keep in mind, however, Sora, whoop! Turnenbog, yes, Sora beat him, and if you want to do an extremely highball Kingdom Hearts, this scales to Sora. But of course, I'm not going to go that far. I mean, don't be mad about it. He's just built different, boy. All right. Let's not go that far. But the end result is Rapunzel is far stronger than you think. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to share as well. Let me know what you guys think. And again, was this a surprise to you? Was she as strong as you expected her to be based on the title? And how do you think she'd fare against Esdef now? Please leave a comment below on your thoughts on that. And with that said, I'm Atari HMB, and I'm signing off. Peace.
Yeah.